How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. Today is August 4th, 2022. And no, I'm not on here to do an All Elite Wrestling review or cover a song. I'm on here because today makes 15 years that my mother, Kim Lackey, walked out of my life and left me, my dad, and my brother for my ex-stepdad, which was my ex-stepdad, Jerry Toller. My ex-stepfather, Jerry Toller, who was my mom's second husband. Well, you know, everyone, I had a shitty childhood with my mother because my mother was she was narcissistic, she was abusive, she was narcissistic and abusive. She physically, emotionally, and verbally abused me when I was a child. You know, she would sit there and yell at me, scream at me, cuss at me, hit me, everything. And you know, you know, my mother, Kim Lackey, still to this day is not a very pleasant person at all. Her and I still have a bad mother-son relationship like we did when I was a child. You know, my mother, she would not let me do nothing. Like, she would ground me over stupid shit. She would, like I said, she would hit me, scream at me, yell at me, cuss at me, everything. And she treated me like I was a fucking prisoner. And, she would, like, she would, her and my father, Ron Honecker, they were married for 15 years. And it was a shitty 15 years for them because they would always fuss and fight all the time. And my mother, uh, you know, she had affairs on my father. Like she had an affair on my father with one of her bosses that she worked with at an office job up in Charleston, West Virginia. She had an affair with Mac's stepfather. She had an affair with a college student, and she also cheated on my father with the man she went to school with because she dated the man that she went to school with, and obviously she dated my ex-stepfather too because her and Mac's stepfather were already in a relationship before she left my father. And I will say this, everyone. It was bittersweet that my mother walked out of my life. But every day to this day, August 4th, because August 4th, 2007 is when my mother walked out of my life. And, I don't miss her one damn bit. At all. And, when my mother walked out of my life, I tried giving her chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to prove herself that she would be a better mother, that she would change and be a better mother to me. But every chance I gave her, she proved the same narcissistic bullshit that she's always done to me. And another thing too about my mother, she tried to say I was autistic, which I'm not at all. And she also tried to say that I was mentally retarded. You know, I fucking hate that word. I fucking hate that R word. But she told me I was mentally retarded. She told me I was autistic and everything. And, you know, another thing about my mother, she treated her nieces and nephews better than she did me and my brother. And, you know, that's a shitty mother at its finest. Because a mother is supposed to put her children before anyone. But with her, that was not the goddamn case. At all. It was not the fucking case that me and my brother came before her. Came before anyone, including her nieces and nephews. And, you know, every day I dreaded being at home and even coming home from school because of her being abusive to me, physically, emotionally, and verbally. And, you know, people try to tell me, oh, get over it, it's been years ago. Like, I'm trying. Like, I'm not trying to play the card game like I'm hurting shit. But literally, I am. Because my mother is the reason why I struggle with depression. I struggle with anxiety. I struggle with PTSD. And it was all because of her. And, you know, my mother also tried to say that the only reason she let me and my brother live with my father is because we'd be better off financially. But that was a fucking lie. Because me and my brother wanted to live with my father. And my mother left our lives. So therefore my father got full custody of me and my brother. You know, my mother tried to get part custody of me and my brother, and the only reason she wanted to do that is because she wanted to get out of paying child support. Because she didn't want to have to pay child support for me and my brother. And one time she tried to take my father to mediation to try to get out of paying child support. But it didn't work. And, you know, the law of their divorce was my father had full custody and my mother had visitation of every other weekend. Well, my mother, she didn't want nothing to do with me and my brother at all when her and my father got divorced. But once my father got married to my stepmother, a woman he went to school with and was high school sweethearts with, you know, my mother got jealous of my stepmother, and she acted like she wanted something to do with me and my brother. But it was all because of jealousy. And my mother, you know, she tried to have something to do with me, but I know it wasn't heartfelt or anything, because I knew it was out of jealousy, and she was trying to get back at my father for something he didn't fucking do to her. And, you know, I just don't understand people. I don't. Like, I'll never understand why the fuck she done what she done. And, you know, I had to go to therapy when I was a child because of the shit she done to me, you know, with, you know, causing my mental health issues and causing everything to me. And, you know, my mother, she tried to reach out to me back in 2018, trying to make amends with me. But I wasn't buying the bullshit. Because she just, you know, because I knew right then and there she was going to do the same bullshit over and over again. So I was like, no, fuck it. I've given you chance after chance after chance after chance to change and prove that you would be a better mother, that you'll be a better mother. But every single fucking time you kept proving to me that you're the same narcissistic bitch. You're the same narcissistic drama starting bitch that you've always been. And, you know, my mother, she hadn't contacted me since then, but the last time she contacted me was when my great-grandfather, J.B. Lackey, passed away, because my great-grandfather, J.B. Lackey, was her grandfather. But my mother didn't have nothing to do with my great-grandfather when he was still alive. And when she reached out to me, the way she reached out, when she reached out to me about my great-grandfather passing away, the way she done it was bullshit. Because she messaged me on Facebook and didn't call me. Because she should have called me. She should have called me and told me instead of fucking messaging me on Facebook and telling me. And you know, that also right there goes to show that she's a fucking narcissistic bitch. And only cares about herself, nobody else. But you know, the fucked up thing about her, like I said, she treated her nieces and she treats her nieces and nephews better than her own children. And, you know, she treated her nieces and nephews like they were kings and queens, and treated me and my brother like we were a bunch of fucking prisoners. And, you know, last time I seen my mother was at my great-grandfather's funeral. And my mother did not even speak to me at all. And I didn't even speak to her at all. And, you know, my mother, she has a boyfriend now. His name is Herschel Justice. Because her and my ex-stepfather, Jerry Toller, are going through a divorce. And she repeated the pattern of, she cheated on my stepfather with her boyfriend. Because, honestly, I feel like she was already in the relationship with her boyfriend before she left my ex-stepfather. And, you know, I mean, my ex-stepfather, he has a past too. Because he's been married 4 times. Married and divorced 4 times. You know, and the 3 women he was married to before my mother, he cheated on them too. And he even cheated on my mother. He cheated on his last 3 wives and cheated on my mother several times. And my mother cheated on him with her current boyfriend. And you know, my mother's boyfriend was at my great-grandfather's funeral. But he just fucking looked at me. He didn't even say a goddamn word to me. And, you know, it made me sick that my mother was at my great-grandfather's funeral. Because she only showed up to make herself look good. That's the only fucking reason. She didn't come to my great-grandfather's funeral because she cared about him. That's bullshit. She only showed up to make her ass look good. To make her bitch ass look good. And, you know, there's this saying, karma always has its way of coming back to bite you in the ass. And I'm a firm believer in karma. And honestly, like, I hate to wish bad on anybody. But my mother, I honestly hope karma comes back to bite her in the ass. Honestly do. Because of the shit she's done. And, you know, people try to say, oh, you need to forgive your mother for what she's done. Well, I fucking tried to. But, again, she just kept proving the same fucking goddamn bullshit that she's done. And she'll never change. And, you know, like, it's all a fucking clusterfuck, is all it is. And, like I said, I'm trying not to play the card game like I'm fucking hurting shit, but really I am. Like, every day every year of this day, August 4th, I instantly think of my mother walking out of my life and how she treated me. And, it bothers me. It fucking bothers me. It really does. And, my mother would even go on Facebook and try to act like she was a good mother, talking about me and my brother when it was all a bunch of fucking bullshit. Like I said, my mother, she would not let me do nothing. And I had to fucking sneak and do shit. She walked out of my life when I was 12 years old. And I'm 27 years old now. So yeah, it's been fucking 15 years that she's been out of my life. Been in and out of my life. I mean, she's not in my life right now, but she was in and out of my life when I was a teenager. And, like I said, it was bittersweet that she fucking walked out of my life. And, I will say this, one time when I was a kid, I didn't come home from school. I went to the neighbor's house because I was scared to death that my mother was going to fucking abuse me. And like I said, that's why I was always afraid to go home after school, because I was always afraid of the abuse. And, I'd done everything I could to get away from her. I went to friends' houses. I went to my grandparents' house because I wanted away from her because of how she was to me. And, like, and there was one time I finally had enough, because I took my mother's bullshit for a long ass time. But one day, I thought to myself, I said, no fucking more. I'm not taking this bullshit anymore. I'm fucking done. So I started standing my ground towards her. And, because I got tired, I was fucking tired of her abusing me. And, I wish she would have been a better, I wish she would have been a better mother. And we had a better mother-son relationship. But in all fucking reality, we don't. And I see all these men and women and all these boys and girls that have amazing relationships with their mothers. And it breaks my heart. It really does. Because I think to myself, I wish I had that with my mother. But I don't. Sadly, I fucking don't. And, if circumstances were better, and if she would have been a better mother to me, if she would have been a better mother to me, and she would not have abused me physically, emotionally, and verbally, we would have had a good mother. We would have had an amazing mother-son relationship. But she fucking ruined that. And I will say this. When women yell at me and everything, I don't take it. Because it gives me flashbacks to the trauma and abuse that my mother caused me. And, like, I know not all women are like that. But when they get in that kind of thing, in that kind of mood, yelling and everything, I instantly think of my mother, of what she's done to me, and I flip the fuck out because I get flashbacks of how my mother treated me, and I flip the fuck out. And I hate when I do that. But like like I said, I wish circumstances were better and me and my mother had a better mother-son relationship, but sadly we don't, and sadly we never will. And people try to say, "Oh, you'll regret it one day that you and your mother aren't close and that you and your mother don't have a good mother-son relationship." Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I won't regret that. Not ever. I will not fucking regret that. Because if she passes away before I do, like if her time comes before mine, it's not going to bother me at all. Because I'm not a fan of her now, and if her time comes before mine, just I won't be a fan of her when she's gone. And but my time may come before hers. We just never know, because our tomorrows are not promised to any of us, because any of us can go tomorrow. So that's why I say, I could pass away before my mother, or my mother could pass away before me. You just never know. But like I said, if my mother's time comes before mine, it's not going to bother me, and I'm not going to miss her. And like I said, I'm not a fan of her now, and I won't be if her time comes before mine, because that's not me. Because that's just how I am. If I don't care for somebody when they're still alive, I'm not going to care for them when they pass away. That's just how I am, because that's just how, because I'm real like that. But everyone, I just wanted to come on here for a while, and well, like I said, it's just, like I said, the relationship my mother and I have, the mother-son relationship that we have, it's all fucked up, and it always will be. But everyone, I just wanted to come on here for a while and talk to y'all about today, being 15 years that my mother, Kim Lackey, walked out of my life. Like I said, every year to this day, I instantly think of my mother walking out of my life, and all the trauma and abuse and all the mental health issues that she caused me. It's fucking touchy to talk about. It really is. But I just thought I'd share this with y'all, and hopefully you all understand where I'm coming from. But, like I said, I just want to come on here for a while and talk about that. Talk about my mother being gone, walking out of my life 15 years ago today, and all the trauma, abuse, and mental health issues she caused me. But like I said, I just wanted to come on here and talk about it. But anyway, with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.